Wouldn't it be great that if you're a guy, you're an introverted guy, and you're going to a bar, and the only thing you need to do is walk up to the bar, order a beer or any other drink you'd like, stand there, and then all of a sudden, a woman taps your shoulder and says, "Hi, what are you doing here?"
This is Seduction Debunked. We can see the matrix of seduction. You've got the questions, we've got the answers. Here is the official SeductionDebunked.com podcast with Maurice and John.
Hey there, welcome to a brand new episode of the Seduction Debunked podcast. This is number 12 already, and we're getting really into the whole material here because, we've been thinking a lot about how can we help specifically the introverted man, and that's where we're going to talk about today. And of course, I'm not doing that all by myself, but with my good friend, John. Hey John, how are you?
Hi Maurice, I am fine.
Great.
Excited to do this again.
Yeah, it's interesting because you know what, I thought I needed somehow a place where I could find the true thoughts of the introverted man, right? I needed some sort of a research tool, or I needed to get to this specific type of man that is introverted and has some issues with dating itself. So we opened an account on Facebook for a introvert group, so such a Facebook group, right? And the simple question was, what is your biggest issue or your biggest challenge in the dating world for an introvert? And the answers were really overwhelming. More than 250 people responded to that. And the main thing that was very, very interesting to see is that they all thought, the biggest problem they had, and even the biggest problem they had in general, was approaching women. Approaching women, and then the bantering, right?
Yes.
The meaningless, just funny, being playful, and those kind of things. Because when I talked to these men, they were all like, I'm not interested in light conversations. I mean, I need someone to talk about real stuff that matters. That's where I want to spend my time with.
Yes.
And yeah.
But also, it is nowadays you learn from the TV, from your parents, from school, that you must be extroverted.
Exactly, because the whole dating scene itself is focused around being extroverted, right? It's like you got to be playful, you got to be funny, you got to build the party, you got to approach people, be social, have fun, be humorous, be confident. It's really like the outgoing type. If you're talking to, or if you're reading the books from even Neil Strauss, it's like The Game. It's all the books, all the videos, all the dating coaches, all the pickup artists. It's all been focused on the extroverted way of seduction in that matter.
Yes, yeah, and this one thing, you learn all the extroverted way,
right?
But you also, what you're also learning is not to being yourself.
Exactly, it's like putting a different mask in front of you so you can look extroverted, right?
Yes.
And that's exactly what we don't want. I mean,
No.
You gotta be yourself. You gotta find your authentic self, your authenticity there, right?
Well, let's be fair. If you you follow the rules of the game, for Neil Strauss,
Right.
something like that, or RSD, Real Social Dynamics, you can have a lot of sexual partners for just one night stands.
Sure.
But if you're going on a date with those girls, they're going to see you're not that same person as the night before.
Exactly. Because that was just a trick, right?
Yes, a trick.
So the interesting thing here, what was going on there, is that if you talk to these men, and also the clients we have, those are introverted as well, you can teach them the skills on how the process itself works, right? I mean, you got to make a connection, you got to build the indications of interest, you got to demonstrate high value and all those kind of things. You got to do some keynote, you got to touch, you got to lower your voice. all the steps you need to make to be not only a nice guy, but an interesting guy, but also a sexual interesting guy.
Even to wear funny hats or
right.
do your fingernails. All those extroverted things.
Right, exactly. Almost gay things, which is fine. But if you're an extrovert who isn't gay, an introvert and you're not gay, then it doesn't work like that, right? So you need to find some other way to do that. And maybe it's good that we talk a little bit about how we approach that way, or approach that whole way we teach these guys to, well, actually to make kind of a next level sort of seduction. Because wouldn't it be great that if you're a guy, you're an introverted guy, and you're going to a bar, and the only thing you need to do is walk up to the bar, order a beer or any other drink you'd like, stand there, and then all of a sudden, a woman taps your shoulder and says, "Hi, what are you doing here?" That would be great, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it would be a lot easier.
Well, the funny thing is that what I noticed, that if you act on 3 different levels in a certain way, that is actually what is going to happen. So women will approach you instead of the other way around, because that is the biggest issue for these men, right?
Yes, I think we are curious. What's that way?
Yeah, well, let me tell you. It's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. It's 3 different mindsets you need to have. And if you own these different mindsets, if you trained these different mindsets, you're showing your authenticity there, and you become instant attractive. And it sounds almost like a fairy tale, but it's not, because it's not easy, right? It's simple. So the 3 things you need to build into your mindset, into your brain muscle, so to say. I heard the other day something interesting. Robert Sharma, one of the gurus in personal development itself, he said, you need to practice things in your brain to create a mindset, and you're actually like making it as a tattoo on your brain. So you're creating a tattoo on your brain by practicing certain stuff, right? Things like we also teach men, if you want people to learn how to approach people that you don't know, just practice with everyone all day long in the streets, at the stores, wherever you are, in the train, at the station, wherever you are, just talk randomly to people or ask directions, those kind of things. So keep practicing, yes. practicing, and you're practically creating a tattoo on your brain so that becomes easier. So that's with this as well. If you create these three expertises, so to say, these 3 skills. So the first one you need to train is the mindset of abundancy. We've talked about that before in a previous podcast, right? About what the effect is of abundance. If you create abundance in your life, in any aspect in your life, you decrease stress, right? We gave the example of if you loan me 1,000 euros and you want to have it back next week, and I don't have it next week, then I have, scarcity. I don't have abundance, but I have scarcity because I don't have the money, so I'm stressed out. And the same with this, if you have the feeling, the abundance mindset of having the opportunity for women, that, whatever happens, in any way, you're not going to be alone for the rest of your life. That's just the mindset of abundance in this area. So if you have the abundance mindset, then there is no stress. And what it does is that, if you decrease stress, you relax. So there is no pressure anymore, right?
No, yes. It's also, if you have the abundancy, you also create the charisma.
Right.
That you are a person that don't need people.
Exactly. You're not depending on those people. Yes. You can fix it by yourself if needed, yes. Right? And abundance is kind of like having so much of something that if you lose a bit of that something, that you're not stressed out, right? Because you still have enough. I mean, you can lose €1,000, but I still got now 90,000 euros left. So I'm okay with that. So then you have abundance in that area, that expertise area, which goes for seducing women as well, or being good with women, so to say. If you know what you have to do, and if you're okay, you know what you're doing. So whatever you're doing, it works. So there'll always be women in your life, whatever happens. So you're not being dependent on that particularly one woman that you're seeing, and you go, okay, she's very cute, and if she doesn't like me, then oh my God, my world will crumble and fall apart. No, that's scarcity. So yes. If you can create abundance as a mindset, which is something different than having abundance in things, right? I mean, I don't have 15 women's. I don't have 15 women in my life now, right? I mean, there wouldn't be time for anything else if you have 15 women in your life. So that's not the point. It's not having those lot of amounts of women in your life at the same time, but it's having the mindset that you're knowing that whatever happens, you won't end up alone in that way. There'll always be women if you want to. So that's an attractive mindset in any way, and it decreases the stress, which is an important one. And we'll get back to that later on and after we talked about the other ones. So abundance, important. That's the first one. The second one, we've talked about as well before, and there's even a very interesting book came out a couple of months ago, and that is Not Giving a Fuck. Excuse me for the language, but it's the mindset of not really being, indifferent. Can
you tell me that again? What did you just say?
I don't give a fuck.
Yes, exactly. I don't give a fuck, or I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
or
I don't care. It's like, whatever happens, it's okay. And this book, what I was referring to, is called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, from Mark Manson. And he actually has a very nice quote in the book there that I read the other day, and it says, being happy is not about giving a fuck about more, but it's about giving a fuck about less. Because if you give a fuck about less, then all of a sudden, crazy shit doesn't matter anymore. I don't care. I don't give a shit about President Trump and what he does, and if he's good or he's bad. I mean, it doesn't affect me personally in my life right now, right? Besides, I can't control him. I can't do anything about it. So leave it, right?
Yes.
And
as an example.
Yeah.
As example, if a woman, if you approach a woman, or a girl or a guy,
right,
and you meet her or him for the first time, why should you give a fuck?
Yeah.
She or he doesn't give you any value to give a fuck.
You don't know her, so
no, you don't know her.
That's an interesting thing as well. A lot of guys are afraid to approach because they are afraid of being rejected, right?
Yes.
But how can you be rejected by someone you don't know? I mean, that doesn't make any sense, right?
No, I think it is just telling a lot of more about that person that's who rejecting you.
Right. I mean, yeah, rejection is not done by the other one, but you're doing that yourself in your head.
Yes.
Because the one thing, I mean, okay, so I'm walking into a bar or some whatever place, and I see this woman, and I think, she's cute. I want to approach her. But what if she says, "Go away! I don't want to talk to you"? Then I still don't know her. So I actually didn't lose anything. I got to the same place. I don't know her now, and I still don't know her then when she rejects me. So I don't lose anything. I win something because I just learned that she don't want to meet me. So that's a plus.
I think that's one of the best things that can happen to you, do you want to hang
Yeah,
out with
exactly.
a girl that reacts that way?
Or do you want to spend time or invest time in someone that you already know that she's not interested in you, right?
Yeah.
So thanks for the feedback. Have a nice life. Goodbye. And it isn't even personal. I mean, she doesn't know you. So how can she reject you as a person? She doesn't know you. So she's just rejecting the time or rejecting the situation, right? I don't want to talk to you right now. Or I don't think you're attractive right now. So, okay, that's your loss then.
At the first time, it is never personal.
No,
Maybe
exactly.
she has been approached
Yeah,
about around 50 guys
you
with the
don't know,
same
right?
with the same lines. Eh?
Yeah,
Van,
whatever.
you are looking cute. You have great eyes, and you are the number 60 that's approaching her. And
Exactly.
it is not personal.
No, exactly. So, yeah. So yeah, exactly. And not giving a shit about those things, makes it also kind of more relaxed, right? I mean, it's okay. Whatever the outcome will be, it's okay. Because
Yes.
if she likes me, good. That's good. But if she don't like me, okay, I don't give a shit about that. That's her loss then. So, okay, move on then, right?
Exactly, and also not blaming yourself because you are
Yeah.
a human being,
And that's also not
and
giving a fuck, right?
you're right. And you like girl, you approach her,
Yeah.
and then she rejected you.
Yeah.
I mean, that is her
Right.
problem because you are just a human being and you are
Yeah.
attractive. I mean, what else can you say? I'm sorry for being human.
Yeah. Besides, if you're thinking like that, like I don't give a shit, that's something different than being indifferent, right? I mean, I do care about things. I do care a lot about a lot of things that are close to me or that really affect me and that I maybe even can change. Then I can give a shit about that. But you'll notice that once you make the decision, do I really have to care about what's going on here? Is there something I can change in this? No? Well, don't give a shit then. You can't change it, so why bother? And it may sound easy. I mean, I've had discussions with, particularly by women, by the way, that are more like, yeah, but then you sound indifferent, and that's like egocentric and narcissistic, and it's no, that's not. I have opinions about things, right? I have really, I'm not indifferent with things, but there are a lot of things that I can change. And I just gotta accept that it is as it is. So I don't give a shit that someone doesn't like me. I mean, I know that I don't like all women, so why would all women like me, right? That's a crazy thought. So the fact that I maybe like her doesn't say anything about her liking me. So let's find out. And if she doesn't, I don't give a shit. So that's the second mindset there. So first one was, right, the abundance mindset. And the second one is not giving a shit. And the third one, and that is a particularly important one when you're going out or you're going to an event or you want to be somewhere. One of the traits that most women like very much in a man is their self-confidence, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
always.
Now, there are 2 ways, or actually 3 ways, how you can create confidence in your life. So, John, you're good at seducing women, right?
Well, that's what they said.
No, well, that's not even what they say. The results are there. So you're good at it. So if you're good at something, you can be confident about it, right? So if I'm good at swimming, I know I can swim. I can dive into the water and there will be no panicking. There will be no troubles because I know how to do and I know what to do. So if I'm good at something, I can be confident about it. Now, if I'm not good about it, so what if you cannot swim, but you need to swim to the other side? Then there's a problem because you're not certain if you're going to make it because you can't swim. So if you're not certain about things, you become uncertain, which is exactly the opposite of confidence, right?
Ooh, real dangerous.
Yeah, well, there are 2 things you can do with that. So either you accept that you're not good at it. So for example, and I think I gave this example before in another episode, I really suck at holding plants in my home. I mean, they all die, right? I'm the guy that drowned a palm tree. I had this beautiful palm tree in my living room, beautiful plant, and it died on me because I was like,
Oh my God.
I don't know what the florist said I drowned him. I gave him too much water. I was like, yeah, but I want to take care of him.
You murderer.
I'm a plant killer. So, there are two options then. I either fix it and say, okay, I want to learn this shit. I'm going to do some online course on how to treat plants and how to exactly know what to do and do fertilizers, this and blah, blah, blah. And then I nail it so I can be good at it. So then I know I'm confident with it because I know it now. Or I just accept the fact that I'm not good at it because maybe I don't give a shit, right? So, okay, that means that I got to buy new plants every 2 months because they die on me. Or I got to buy plastic plants or whatever it is. But I'm just accepting the fact that I'm not good at with that. So I'm okay with it. And if you're okay with something, you can be confident about it as well. So even though I suck at, gardening, so to say, I'm still confident. It doesn't bring me in an insecure situation. So there's always an option. Either learn how to nail that shit and be good at it. And then you're saying, if someone is trying to get you like, okay, but you're not good at it, so blame on you. So, dude, I'm learning. It's something that's coming. I know it's not here right now, but in the future it will be. So it's gonna be there. So stop whining. So you do that, or you just accept that it is like it is, right?
Yes, I think it's really important that you say to yourself, something difficult. That you say, I'm not can do it at the moment for the best results, but I will get into it. So
I'll learn.
I will be better at it.
Yeah.
Sometime.
And there's even a third option. So if you're not good at something, you can either learn it or you can accept it. Or if you don't want to learn it or you can't learn it, try, and I really love that word, hustle. And if you're hustling, then you're like trying to find an alternative route that will lead to the fact that it's still okay that that you're not good at it. And actually, that is particularly the one thing that we're doing here with this whole method, like these 3 options we have. Creating abundance, creating the I don't give a shit mindset, and the confidence building. That altogether leads to the fact that you don't have to approach women, but you are building on a skill that women will approach you. That's hustling, right? So, yes. Confidence. That's an important one. We need to nail confidence. In any way, a guy needs to be confident. So, because that is an attractive trait. So women will, be attracted to that and find it interesting, find it even maybe mysterious or something like that. So if you create an abundance mindset and you don't give a fuck, and everywhere you go, you own yourself and you own your place where you're at. You're showing confidence.
Yes, leading
yourself, exactly. And I always give the example. If you walk into a bar where you've never been, what do? You start looking around. Oh, there's some nice ornaments there, and oh, look at the lights there. Hey, there's a guitar at the wall. Hey, there's a painting there. Oh, where's the bar? I need to go to sit somewhere. You're showing very insecure traits because you're scanning. You're not certain where to go. What do I do? Where do I have to go? Well, if you're approaching a bar or you're entering a bar and you just walk in there like you own that place, like it's your own physical, you own it, just like you walk into your own home.
Talk with everyone.
Talk to everyone because it's your home. See this, if you're walking into your home, you're not looking at all the ornaments and the paintings on the wall and look at there, you just walk into your home, throw your jacket on the what's it called where you hang your jacket on? I don't know the English word, whatever, but you get what I mean, right? You throw your jacket to a chair, whatever. You go to the kitchen, get yourself some drinks, sit on the couch, put it on the TV, whatever you're doing. But it's your home, you're owning that shit. That same attitude, you got to bring that to the bar, bring that to the restaurant, bring that to the museum, bring that to the gas station, to the train, wherever you are. It's it's your place. It's you.
Well,
you own it there.
Yes, can I add a tip right there?
Yeah.
It is important that you talk to girls, but also guys,
Right.
and to not sitting or take your cell phone
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
an app, because that shows that you're not confident, that you're insecure, and that you're using the cell phone like an how do you call it?
Yeah, like a substitute,
shield.
like a shield. Because there's one thing that
Yes.
I like to add. Indeed, the main thing is that you need to show that it's your home and everyone is welcome there, and you're the host.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk to everyone, you socialize with everyone, and depending on how strong you can do that, right? If you don't have that in you, if you're that introverted that you're just not comfortable talking to anyone. If you talk to the bar, the guy, the bartender, you need to talk to him because you need to order a beer, whatever. Smile. Just smile at people. Look at people and smile. And that makes you feel confident because you're welcoming them. And so, yeah, exactly. Leave the cell phone in the pocket, right?
Yes.
Now, the beautiful thing is
At home.
Yeah. I'm not even leaving my living room without my phone. So, but if you build in these mindsets, if these traits that you're creating, if you train yourself in that, if you're creating the mindset of abundance, if you create the mindset of I don't give a fuck about what's happening or what the result will be, and if you're somewhere wherever you are, you feel at home, you feel confident there, all of a sudden you are an interesting person. Because it's almost like James Bond, right? I mean, James Bond, he just walks into a bar, knows exactly where to go, sits at the bar, orders a martini, and just is there. But he's not like closed. He's not like, leave me alone, I don't want to talk to anyone. No, he's just there. He's looking around, he's looking people in the eye, or maybe not, but he is really there. And what you'll see is that once you do this, once you master this, people will approach you because you show yourself as a leader. You show yourself with confidence that people feel trust with you. You're showing charisma, and yeah, that is interesting. I mean, that's mysterious. That's interesting. That's sexy as hell, and I've noticed. I've well, maybe a little bit of in by accident, but I've learned that if you build these traits in your mindset, people will approach. Not only girls, but even men. I mean, you're just standing there, looking around, enjoying the music, whatever is going on, and someone suddenly stands next to you and starts talking to you. That's just what happens. And women as well. I mean, it's not only guys, but it's women as well. So it is kind of the hustle way if you don't want to approach people, because that's not just like you, right? I mean, what we were talking about in the beginning of the show. Introverted guys have a lot of trouble of approaching women they don't know. It's just unnatural for them, right? It's against their nature.
Yeah.
Because, they're not interested in being the party guy or being the funny guy or, do the little chit chat and the bantering. No, they want to make real connections to people. That's what's interesting. Yeah. And once you can master this, if you are there like the James Bond type of guy, people come to you. So you don't have to approach people.
Yeah. So there's also one thing is that nice about being an introvert, and if you do it in the right way, like the James Bond types,
right,
then you don't need a lot of words to seduce a woman.
Exactly. And why that is? That is because there's a shift in power. One of our mentors, John, this guy from Belgium, he has very interesting insights. And he says as well, and it may sound a little bit cruel, but it is pretty much how it is, I guess. There is a power play in any relationship going on, always. If it's with your boss, with your colleagues, with your spouse, with your children, It's always some sort of a power play. And the one with the most power is the one who is less dependent on the other. So what happens? I'm a guy. I'm an extroverted guy. So I walk into a bar and I see all these great people. And like a little puppy, I go jump on all these people. Give me attention, give me attention, give me attention. Because that makes me happy, right?
Oh, he's such cute.
Now who has the
he's
power?
Such a funny guy.
Yeah, but who has the power? Is it me or is it the people that give me the attention?
Yeah.
It's the people that give me attention. They have the power.
There's also the position that you need people to give you that power.
Exactly. And what happens in this situation, if you're an introverted guy and you master these 3 traits, so people will approach you, it is you that has the power.
Yes.
So they are the needy ones, so to say, because they want your attention instead of the other way around.
It's the fair thing to say that if you're an introverted guy, that you already have the power inside you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But you know what the thing is? Introverted guys are not interested in power.
No.
I mean, the managers, the directors, the CEOs, they are leaders, they are managers because they want to lead. They want to have the power to lead others. And the general, introverted guy doesn't need to have that power per se. He's more about making connections, making an added value to the group. And from that perspective, be a leader, but not because you have the power, right?
Yep.
So, absolutely. I mean, they have it in them, but they don't show it. So, and I think that is the beauty of this method. If you learn these traits, if you're building on these traits, and you're creating the mindsets that we've been talking about, you bring out that power from the inside to the outside, right? It's the inside-out method. You don't hold up a mask of who the public says you need to be. All the dating coaches and all the books and pickup artists are even worse. They are all about, being crazy and being funny and noticing, blah, blah, blah. It is being you, being really authentic you. And that is interesting because everyone else is taken. So, why not be you?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. And I've noticed it with myself to begin with that it works like that. But I've seen it with other clients as well where I've been working with, and it really hit me the other day when we were doing this research on the introverted groups, where indeed the main issue of all these guys were the fact that and there are even guys that just gave up on dating because it's like. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be the funny guy. I don't want to have these meaningless conversations. I'm not interested in that. Just leave me alone. I'll just stay home and be okay with my cat or my gaming or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've seen this documentary the other day, which was, it blew my mind. In Japan, and the Japanese culture itself, the modern culture, is very much based on introvertness. So a lot of Japanese people are being taught to be introverted with their behavior. They teach introvert behavior. So that's a big problem because a lot of single guys don't take any effort anymore in finding a woman. But what they do? There is this game. I don't remember what the name of the game was, where you have a virtual girlfriend.
Oh yeah, Sims.
No, it's something like Sims, but it's like a little Nintendo game you have. So they all are walking around with these Nintendo machines, and they have this one particularly girl on there, which is just a cartoonish girl, the hentai type of cartoon, and you talk to her, and she'll respond to you, and you'll ask her, what do you like to do? Do you like to go for a walk? Yes, I like to go for a walk, and then they just take her. Like using their Nintendo and are going for a walk or are drinking a drink in a bar and sitting at a table with the machine at the other side of the table and having a conversation with her on a virtual thing. They have They sleep with it. They have pillows with big pictures of her laying next to her, and it's like it really blew my mind that it actually exists like that, and that people go with that. But it is because it's easy, because then you take all the stress away, because you know how it is that difficult, it is that hard, it is so far out of your comfort zone to just go randomly to anyone you like and say, hi, how are you, and what you're doing here, are you having fun, who are these your friends? I mean, if you're really too scared to do that, then this is the easiest solution. I mean, you pay a couple of yen and you'll have a girlfriend, right? It's crazy, but it is the truth. It is actually happening right now. So yeah, and that's why I thought, you know, we need to fix this somehow. There need to be some way which you can hustle yourself around that whole area of approach anxiety. And, you know, of course, I think it's important for you as a guy to have the power inside of you yourself to take control in your own hands, right? I mean, if you're doing it like this, you're creating a passive situation, because you're in, and I don't care if you're not giving a shit, but you're still creating a situation where you are depending on the initiative of someone else, and you're not taking your life in your own hands. So I'm all for the fact that we need to teach the guys to approach anyway, because I think it's important for your own personal feeling, for your own development. That is good that you keep trying.
Important to know that if you approach, keep in mind it is not about the result; it is about the process.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's not about the fact that I'm not a guy who likes small talk. No, I get that. But you need to go for the small talk first before you can go to make the real connection. It's just the fact. It's just how it works. It's just how communication works. It's just how our social behavior works. It's just that, I mean, that's us human, right? That's how it works. I know a lot of guys who like to jump any girl and fuck her brains out and just walk like, say, okay, thank you, bye-bye. But that's not possible. That's called harassment. That's called rape, right? I mean, you cannot do that. Maybe 50,000 years ago we could do that, but not these days anymore. So you have to build a certain path. You have to follow a process for that. So you need to learn exactly what to do there, and that is important. And I'm certain that if you're really, really dedicated to the fact that you want to nail that you want to learn, even if it comes not natural to yourself, that you can learn it. It will be difficult every time. And I know it for myself. I find it difficult every time when I need to approach a woman. But I do it because I know I can. And I know that it doesn't matter if she rejects me or whatever. So there is the self-destructing belief, which is not relevant anymore. But it is still there, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I give the same example to also that, when you're a kid, like you're 2 years old, and you're you're learning to walk because, you see all these people around you and they all walk on 2 legs and you're crawling there being a 2-year-old. You say, shit, man, I want to know that. I want to learn to walk. So what do? You try to stand up and you fall on your face. And you try to stand up again and you fall on your face again. And it's not that you're like 2 months in the process. You're like, Mom, Dad, I've tried for 2 months, but this walking thing, it's just not for me. It's just not me, right? I'm just not a walker. I mean, no, of course not. Nobody does that. Nobody. If you're a child, you try until you can. Because you want to learn. Because that is your nature. You're willing to do that. And the older we get, the less we get this inside of our brain of really, really, really wanting it, because it's so much easier not to. It's so much easier to just give up on it and say, it's just not me, I'm just not a guy who approaches women. That's bullshit. If you really want to learn it, you can learn it. But if it becomes such an obstacle that you're like freaking out and being stressed and being all, try to hustle. Yeah. Just hustle your way around it.
And also accept that it's normal to feel that inconvenience if
Exactly.
you want to approach women. That
And you
is
know what?
normal.
Exactly. And you know what? What happened when I noticed that this happened to me, that women also came to me, approached me, it helped me being more confident to approach women myself.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden because one of my biggest self-destructing beliefs was I'm not attractive. That's why I don't talk to women, because I'm not attractive. I'm not worthy, right? You put the women on the pedestal and all this kind of stuff. But once you know that they will be attracted to you because they come to talk to you as well, it helped building my self-esteem, my self-confidence as well. That I knew, maybe I don't think I'm attractive, but they do. I think they do think that I'm attractive. So okay, let's just go for that and think that I'm attractive, so I can talk to people. So being like that, and doing this, and having this situation where people approach you helps you also in building your self-confidence, so you can approach people easier.
Yeah.
So it's a vicious circle that you're creating that will only make you stronger in this whole process. Yeah.
Yes. I think you said it right there.
It is, and like I said in the beginning, it's not easy. It's a simple thing. It's like three things. You need to focus on abundance, don't giving a shit, and owning the place where you're at. I mean, that's the secret sauce. But how you got to do that, that's a whole different story. I mean, that's difficult. That's hard.
That's the process.
That's the process. That's what you need to learn. Yeah. But once you master it, you don't have to approach per se.
Yes.
Because they will approach you as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that is one thing that a lot of introverted guys asking about, how to do it.
Exactly. And I've seen it with my own clients that it works like that.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that once you're building on these three mindsets, something very, very, very interesting happens, because all of a sudden the stress that you have of you have to becomes you can. You don't have to, but you can. You have a choice. So it's not discipline, it's motivation. It is knowing that you can, so you can. It's not like, okay, now I got to approach that woman, and what if I say something stupid? She'll laugh, and her friends will laugh, and I'll be there like, look at me, and I'll be ashamed, and they will bully me, and all these different process things in your head, like stresses you up, and like
I will be doomed forever.
Right, you'll be doomed forever. Like, okay, maybe I just don't approach this woman, right? It decreases all those thoughts, because there is no, and I think the whole abundance and don't giving a fuck element is there a very big part in. I don't care. I approach her, and if she doesn't like me, she doesn't like me. Okay, that's fine. And I'm not going to a bar to find the woman of my life, right? I mean, or to find the woman of my dreams. It's just going there because I want to go there because it's fun, and I got to meet people, or I'm meeting up with friends, and we'll just see what happens. And if I meet someone and we have some nice conversation and that's it, then it's okay as well. Yeah. So not having the outcome dependency there is a huge part in the whole, relax and just go with the flow and be okay with everything that's happening there. So the whole pressure of you have to, it all becomes, no, you can. If you want to, you can. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm curious, if you're listening to this, what do you think of this? Are you an introverted guy, and are you facing the problems that we've been talking about? And do you think that this will work for you? Well, please let us know. Send us a message. You can use the contact form on the website. If you go to free content, you'll see the podcast there, and also the form where you can fill in your question. Give us the feedback. What do you think of this? Is this something that would work for you? And if you want to know more, just shout out, and we'll reach out to you, and we'll see how we can work together. But I'm curious. Do you think this is something that is something you need for your own dating world, for solving your dating problem, the approach anxiety and all that? Really looking forward to that. So yeah. Sorry for all the talking. I realized it's pretty much me talking today. Sorry, John, but
no
yeah.
problem.
what's your take on all this?
Well, I think it's important that if you're an introverted guy, that you have the strength within.
Right, exactly.
There's one gift that you got, but
Right.
the only thing is that you have to know how to use that strength in
Exactly.
which time and in which moment.
Right. Yeah. It's totally true. I totally agree. That's pretty much it. And if you can unleash that power, then you're there. I mean, then the whole problem is solved. And of course, you need to know the process, right? You need to know the techniques. I mean, if you don't touch, there will be no sex. If you don't, be seductive, they'll be just friends, and she'll find you a great guy, but just as friends. So, of course, there are all these things that you need to know how things works.
Yes, and I also think that's one. It is a gift to be an introverted guy, because
it is. Yeah.
You can exactly know what you're going to do. But if you're extroverted, then it will be a lot of difficult that you know what you're doing, because
right.
You do it first and then the thinking comes later. Right. An introverted guy usually thinks first and act later.
And the problem with a lot of these type of guys is that they think too much before they do something, so they don't do it because they've thought all the processes and all the scenarios they could think of and balance it out, and we're like, maybe not. So the spontaneous part has pretty much been killed then as well. But if you can manage that, if you learn more about what is it that is in you and how can you use that so-called power, which is actually nothing more than showing yourself. That's pretty much it. And then also with everything you've learned, everything you know, all the so-called techniques, it's no textbook, right? The way that I interact with women is different than you do, and it's different than anyone else does. But that's how you do it. I mean, that is you, so that is still you doing that, and that's an important part. Also make it then genuine, right? It's not some trickery, it's not wearing jewelry because you need to stand out, or wearing a funny hat or something like that. It's no trickery. Yeah. It is still an authentic way you approach this whole process. Yeah, and that makes it very powerful.
Yes, indeed.
Cool, man. Well, again, let us know what you think of this. Is it something you could use? Is it something you can relate to or have experience in maybe? So let us know, and we're glad if you'll take the time and effort to let us know what you think.
Yeah. Send an email, send a comment.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, our maybe you're listening this as a YouTube video. Welcome on YouTube as well. Of course, thank you so much for listening it over there. So yeah, we're creating all this content and being out there all over the place. So the videos and the podcast. Great to have you as a listener, and really appreciate that. And I guess we see each other next week again. Yes. Because next week we've got a very interesting subject as well, don't we, John? We've already talked about this.
We have.
Because you already we're both are doing a workshop, and you already have done it, and I'm going to do it this Sunday. So I'm very curious how that all works out.
It will be a real mental story.
It will be a very mental, a very cool story. Yeah. All right. Okay, John. Well, thanks so much for being here with me, and like I said, always fun.
Yes, it was my pleasure to do this again.
Yeah, and so see you guys next week, and you too, John. Have a great week.
Yes.
And
you too.
We're gonna hook up again, and let us know. So again, see you next week, or hear you next week, or talk to you next week. See you then. Bye bye.
Bye. See you guys next week.